Today, unemployment at 3.5% in June. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Welcome to this post covering finance and property news with a distinctively Australian flavour. Well, the ABS says that the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate fell to 3.5% in June 2022. That's according to their latest data. And they said with employment increasing by 88,000 people and unemployment falling by 54,000, the unemployment rate fell by 0.4 percentage points to 3.5%. That is the lowest unemployment rate since August 1974, when it was 2.7% and the survey was quarterly. The unemployment rate continued to fall for both men and women, both down 0.4 percentage points. The 3.4% unemployment rate for women was the lowest since February 1974, and the 3.6% rate for men was the lowest since May 1976. The large fall in the unemployment rate this month reflects more people than usual entering employment, and also lower than usual numbers of employed people becoming unemployed. Together, these flows reflect an increasingly tight labour market with high demand for engaging and retaining workers, as well as ongoing labour shortages, the ABS said. The fall in unemployment through the pandemic has coincided with large increases in job vacancies, 480,000 in May 2022, and as a result, there was almost the same number of unemployed people in June 2022 at 494,800 as vacant jobs. This equates to around one unemployed person per vacant job, compared with 3 times as many people before the start of the pandemic. Seasonally adjusted employment increased by 88,000 people, or 0.7% in June 2022. The increase in June was the 8th consecutive rise in employment, following the easing of restrictions after the Delta lockdowns in late 2021. Employment growth continues to follow a reasonably consistent trend. Average monthly employment growth over the past 3 months has been around 51,000 people and around 52,000 people since November 2021. This was similar to the average monthly increase we saw over the year prior to the Delta lockdowns, when it was 61,000 people. The growth continues to be noticeably stronger than before the pandemic, when the trend was around 20,000 people each month, the ABS said. With strong employment growth for both men and women, the employment to population ratio increased to 64.4% in June, the highest in the series. The strong increase in female employment, which accounted for around 2/3 of the total increase at 63%, saw their employment to population ratio rise to a new record high of 60.3%. It's now 2.3 percentage points above its pre-pandemic level. There was also strong growth in youth employment, those aged between 15 and 24, which increased by 23,000 people, or 1.1%, and accounted for over a quarter of the total increase in employment. The participation rate increased by 0.1 percentage points to 67.8% in June. That's the highest in the series, and 0.9 percentage points above March 2020. Unlike the rise in employment, seasonally adjusted hours worked, though, fell slightly in June, down less than 0.1%, following an increase in the previous 2 months. In line with the large number of COVID cases in June, the number of people working reduced hours due to illness continued to be high. This reflected ongoing disruption associated with the Omicron variant and cases of influenza, the ABS said. There are around 780,000 people working fewer hours than usual due to their own illness in June 2022, almost double the usual number we see at the start of winter. The underemployment rate increased by 0.3 percentage points to 6.1%, and the youth underemployment rate increased by 1.2 percentage points to 13.9%. And the underutilization rate, which combines the unemployment rate and the underemployment rate, remained at 9.6%, its lowest level since April 1982. So a couple of points here. Firstly, of course, it's very important to understand how we define employed. You need to work an hour. The more troubling number is the reduction in working hours, because you would expect with more people employed, the working hours would go up, but no, it's gone down. And the third, of course, is we know that there are a lot of people who've checked out of the market and are not even looking for work, and so they're not really counting any of the numbers. So the question is, how a true picture are we getting here, or are we seeing numbers distorted by some external factors. Hard to tell, really. But this number is one to take home because it's the lowest it's been for, well, absolutely ages. Be interesting to see what happens ahead. Because, of course, if in fact higher interest rate leads to more business failures, we might see the numbers turn around. But we are reflecting a similar trend to many other Western countries who all seem to be in this weird situation where we have very high inflation, very low unemployment, but I think something is still missing, and that would be real wages growth. Not sure we're going to see that change anytime soon. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.